Good evening everyone, welcome to FGM Ecast for your Wednesday night. We are here at Charlotte Roval for 33 laps in the ANZCAR Thunder Series in the Xfinity cars, and we've got just under 7 minutes to go in practice. It's Andrew Dyson who is in the lead at the moment, 1:21.5, fastest man in practice, and as usual I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Carl Withy. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody. A pleasure to be here tonight. The Roval, a track that is probably not the most popular track amongst the drivers, but it does bring us some exciting racing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just another night where I have to admit I am anticipating a little bit of a DPR cleanup, but we will see how we go, and we've got not too long to find out. Of course, qualifying coming your way shortly, which will be a 2-lap solo qualifying here. We'll see who can take our pole position. A reasonably strong grid again tonight. The series maintaining its popularity, 24, probably a good number actually for this track. But Carl, it's probably about time, if you've got it there, to take us through the current championship standings.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a minor wrong screen up this time. Just very, as usual, the slight wrong screen up. But it is Matty Raymond in the lead with 20 points over his next rival. That's Josh Micklemore in second. Third place, we have Hamish Gallagher, 21 points down. Fourth place is Brenton West, 25 points off the lead. Fifth place is Stevie Williams, 50 points down. 51 points down in sixth is Edward Foster. Joint sixth with Gary Wellman. Eighth place we have Dave Douglas, 54 points down. Ninth is JCW Joshua Carroll-Walden, 58 off the lead. And Matty Hunter is sitting in 10th, 59 off the lead. So that win for Matty Ray has really helped him out, build a nice bit of a gap up front. That 20-point lead will be very useful for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and of course there are 2 drop rounds to take into consideration as well, so that'll change things up as we head towards the final rounds of this season. So we've got Homestead, Texas, Kansas, Martinsville and Phoenix to come. That will round out the last 5 weeks, get us into November, unbelievably.
Yes, it's the year is coming close to its end, but one thing I've got to say about Matty Raymond is being very consistent with top 5 finishes this season. 4 top 5 finishes out of all of them, and 2 top 10 finishes when he wasn't in the top 5. So it's been a very consistent season for him out of the 6 races. So he has very much been Mr. Consistent there and keeping it right up there in that top bracket. So it's looking good for him, even with drop rounds. That's going to be very helpful. As we've seen, consistency is key.
Yeah, most definitely so. So looking forward to seeing how this one pans out tonight. Just having a look at Peter Wilkinson here in the Locked On Lads entry. So he's in his first ANZCAR season and running in the Xfinity Series. So see how Wilco can get on here tonight. Of course, Locked On Lads podcast for everything you need to know about the week that was in iRacing in the local scene, and that's gets brought out. So have a listen to that one. Jump on the Discord. Everything else, Wilco locks up there and just gets a little aggressive into the bus stop at the end of the lap, but he'll live to fight another day.
Yeah, the Locked On cows are actually breeding a little bit because we have Braden Martin out there as well, his co-host, currently sitting in pit lane at the moment, but Braden Martin sitting in 16th at the moment with times, and I did hear rumours that there may even be a third Locked On car appearing next week. So good to see that team coming over and putting in a bit of effort over in the ANZCAR side of things, and absolute pleasure to have them here. Really nice bunch of lads, and as you may know, if you've ever listened to the podcast, I do the little wrap-up for the ANZCAR series, and yeah, really pleasurable chaps to have a bit of a chat to, and they've done a lot of interviews as well. Really recommend, if you get a chance, to look back at some of the interviews they did. They have done an interview with Mr. Edward Foster, a very interesting interview, and one Mr. Stuart Brown as well, apparently.
Yeah, there was an interview there once upon a time, but yeah, no, definitely a good listen if you want to catch up and keep up to date on everything that's going on. Of course, we are putting up highlight packages as well, so if you don't end up watching the whole race here this evening, there will be a highlights package that will come your way sometime tomorrow afternoon as well for this series and just about every series we cover, in fact. So that is there as well. So plenty of stuff coming out. Aidan Schultz on track. He's in 4th position at the moment. Be quite happy with that. Dave Douglas jumped up into the green room. We can't resist the double D entry into the green room. What's going on, Dave Douglas?
Hey boys, surprise, how you going?
Currently sitting in P5, mate. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know, what a miracle, mate. Hey, like, I don't know, I just don't like stock cars on racetracks, and somehow I ended up P1 for a little bit there, but man, Dyso, how quick is that guy, mate? It's ridiculous.
Absolutely, very quick. He's a second in front of Edward Foster at the moment, so that's saying something as well, because Ed's not no mean steerer. Of course, he'll tell you that he's not any good on a circuit, but seems to always be relatively competitive. So, yeah, absolutely, Dyso just setting the pace in that one, mate.
Yeah, definitely, mate. A second, that's huge, mate. Like, it's pretty tight for the rest of the sort of top 10 there as well. And for him to just punch out a second quicker, mate, it's a bit alien-like, mate. So I don't know. Maybe we need to check that car over pace post-race, mate.
He was very, very strong in the trucks here. I think it was last week, so not too surprising.
I think.
I mean, sorry, go on, Carl.
I was going to say one of the scary things with Dyso is he's not done that many laps, has he? He's just basically just sort of jumped it out there for a couple of quick laps and set those fast times, and that's always the thing with Dyso. He just appears, sets a quick lap, and then just gets nice and settled in, and it's just freakish how quick he is on these road courses sometimes.
Oh, that makes me feel so good inside, Carl, that you mentioned that, mate.
You're always
he'll be the one to beat, mate. There'll be a bit of carnage here, as there always is at the start, but I don't know, I'm usually pretty crap, but I love the Xfinity car, so we'll see how we go.
We're in P8 at the moment, mate, in the charts without the drop round, so we need a good showing from you here tonight, please.
No, that's it. We'll go qualify, see if I can't hit any walls or something stuff from last usually, but anyway, I'll let you boys get to it.
No worries, Dave. Good of you to drop in and say hello. Good luck out there tonight.
Cheers, boys.
So with that said, we've got on screen Aidan Schultz at the moment. Now, Schultz has had a bit of a return to form of late, so I thought deservedly so, Carl, we might jump on board with him tonight for the qualifying lap. So we'll just wait for him to get around and bring up the lap, and then we'll get on with it. We've got 10 minutes worth of qualifying session here. We should be able to jump on the lid of the Azure Esports entry, which we can. So we might do that there. Just adjust the balance a little bit because she's a little bit loud. And we'll just wait to get through.
Yeah, these engines tend to be a bit loud. Just locks it up a little bit going through the bus stop there, but that's all right. That's not going to affect this fast lap at all too much. Might just add a little bit of heat to the tyres. Yeah, definitely return to form. It's good to see from Schultz. Really having a good run at the moment and doing very well with everything, so that's great to see. So let's start this lap. So across the start finish line we go and into turn one. Turn one, really tricky left-hander. You've got to watch the wall on the outside. Very easy to get close to that wall because it comes in very close to you here. On the left-hand side you'll see pit exit. That's someplace that can cause trouble. Into turn number four right now, which will lead us to turn number 5. Uphill we go. Turn number 6 is the tricky one as you start to go uphill, and this is the one that causes problems. Turn number 7. Over the top here, you've got to be careful. Just tags that wall a little bit. That's going to invalidate this lap. But that part is over a massive crest. It's very easy to get loose over that crest. Through turn 8 here, back on to the oval section. And that's the bit that causes most trouble for drivers, is that sort of section there, turns 7 and 8, because it's slightly off camber, it's over a hill, and it does get these cars a little bit loose. The Xfinity cars have had a slight change as well since we were last here. They of course got their new suspension set up for next year and for the future in them as well. So there is a slight difference to how they're driving, and that's caught a few people out. I did have a quick drive in one of the cars myself earlier, just into the final bus stop here, and this is the tricky one because it doubles back on itself. You can sort of see it just goes a little bit backwards here, 15 and 16, just before the start-finish line, and that one can really cost you a lot of time if you get it wrong. But these cars are very, very tight on the front end, and then all of a sudden, if you're a little bit too harsh on the accelerator pedal, they are very loose on the rear, so it's very easy to have the rear go on you. But people are struggling a little bit with that new suspension geometry.
Yeah, something that needs to be considered. I noticed I think that the livery there on the Daiso Xfinity cars just had a few little updates. Got a bit of orange on it now. Looks very sharp indeed as he uses the curbing there to great effect. And you should see here he jumps straight up into P1 and he does just that. So looks fantastic in the black there. Give old Jeff Connell, famous for the Batmobile livery, a run for its money.
Yeah, really nice looking livery on the DPR. And I think he's
just having fun now.
Pretty happy with that qualifying lap, a 21 flat. I think that's almost a second faster than Foster in P2 at the moment. So Daiso deciding that's going to be the best lap he's going to get out of it. I think it's going to be pretty much a one-lap run. The tyres are just going to start getting a little bit warm on that second lap, and you're probably going to find you're not going to get quite as much pace. But a few drivers out there are trying for that second lap. We've got Joshua Carroll-Walden right now, seeing if he can improve on this one, and does not. No, loses. Yeah, a couple of attempts shy on that lap. So yeah, it does definitely look like that second lap is losing time, and that's something that can happen is the tyres just get a little bit warm, and it does cause a little bit of problem. Debutant Braden Martin setting a good time to get up into P10 at the moment, so not a bad little result from him. We're on board with Dave Douglas right now as well, seeing how he can go in the Rowdy Energy sponsored 199, and he's just having a very, very Formula 1-esque outlap here, just keeping those tyres alive for his fast lap right now. So he's doing that little strategy of just keeping the tyres a little bit cooler, not getting as much energy through them, so that he should hopefully have a little bit more grip on the final sectors of this lap.
We'll stay on board with him here, see how we can get on through this one. Just quickly, if you are joining us tonight, watching the replay, appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, or at least consider hitting the subscribe button, like button, follow, or the like, wherever you're watching, whether it be Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. We appreciate your support. Dave Douglas enters the final segment of his lap. He's getting through the banking here. We'll head down into the braking zone. Get ready to get through the bus stop and get on to his flying lap. Use a bit of curbing. Stay off it a bit that side. On this first lap out, he's one of only a couple of drivers who are left to set a time. He's looking to slot himself in between Edward Foster and Andrew Dyson. Of course, he'd love to take out pole. From his earlier comments here, probably just happy to get in on that front row if he can.
Yeah, getting a good qualifying lap is really important here. You want to start relatively high up just to avoid that first corner melee, because it can get a little bit tight through those first set of corners on those first laps, and sometimes it can catch a few drivers out.
He's got to hold it in here, get back across as early as he can. He's done a good job there. Probably could have even squeezed a little tighter, but he's on the throttle early, trying to maximise the speed through this section. You see on the right-hand side, the signage. There we go, 5-4, and he's on the brakes, down the gear. Oh, he's got a little cross tab. He's clipped the wall. That lap is done. He's clipped the wall. If he jumps out now, he may get around.
He's going to go around and just get... He's cooling the tyres down a little bit, so he's just eased off a little bit. He's just trying a little bit of just to reduce the energy a little bit. And I think he's going to take it round for another one this time round. So no major damage on Double D's car. So he's just going to start out again and just take this one and try not to clip the wall this time. So this is one of the things that you have to be careful of when you're trying a strategy like that, is it does reduce your time, of course, but it also does leave you a little bit open sometimes. So Douglas getting caught out a little bit with that one, so he should have time just to do this one last qualifying lap, and hopefully this time he won't clip the wall and won't lose too much time being that second time round on those tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. It just shows you as well, something else that's going to come into consideration tonight are incident points. We've got 33 laps here tonight, and you only need to rack up 17 for a DQ.
And 12 for a drive-through.
And 12 for a drive-through. So it could be that we see a few drivers on their way through. So let's try this again. Down a gear, using the gears to get the car pulled up. Gets through better this time. Control the wheel spin. Gets a little bit.
Is really leery on Douglas right now. It's sort of, he's used up the best life of those tyres. But he still should have a fairly decent lap. It should be hopefully good enough for around about a top 10, I'd imagine. But we'll see how this one goes as he crosses the line and jumps up.
Into P9, Carl called it.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Couldn't have done better if you tried. So Douglas there jumping up into P9. So we've only got under a minute to go in qualifying. That is pretty much it. No one else is going to be able to get out and get a time done. So it will be Andrew Dyson who'll start off the front row with Edward Foster alongside him. Hamish Gallagher and Josh Mickelmore with a Mitch Lockout on row 2. We've got Joshua Carroll-Walden and Thomas Martin off row 3. Aidan Schultz, Kate Donnelly off 4, and rounding out of top 10 is going to be Dave Douglas and Matty Ray. Matty Ray's doing a bit more qualifying these days, Carl, and he's sitting up towards the front. It's not normally a style we're accustomed to with Matty Ray. He's the creeper.
Yeah, it's. I think the championship has definitely got him thinking, and obviously, a road course like this is a place where you kind of need to qualify a little bit. It's not as easy to make up those positions. You're not going to get you're not going to get the joys of a caution coming out and things like that to really help you out through starting at the back. The only problem is up into P10 is you've got 9 other cars in front of you that if they have a little bit of a incident, it can cause a lot of issues.
Absolutely. So just waiting for people to jump out on the grid. Just go through the grid as it stands here tonight for this round 7, the ANZCAR Thunder Series, the Xfinity cars at Charlotte Roval. It's Andrew Dyson, Edward Foster off the front row with Hamish Gallagher and Josh Mickelmore off row 2. Then it's Joshua Carroll-Walden and Thomas Martin off 3 with Aidan Schultz and Kate Donnelly off row 4. Then Dave Douglas and Matty Ray off row 5 with Braden Martin and Brenton West off row 6. As we flip back through the grid here, it's Norm Clark and Luke Georgeson off row 7 with Stephen Williams and Mitchell West off row 8. Then it's Gary Wellman and Tristan Cock off row 9 with Scotty Griffiths and Peter Wilkinson off row 10. Then Lachlan Urquio and Matty Hunter off row 11 with Troy Davison and Philip Howe rounding out the 24 starters here for round 7 of the ANZCAR Thunder Series. And this one is going to be entertaining, so do stick around. 33 laps. Fuel-wise, Carl, are we looking at the possibility at all of a no-stop race?
It should be. From what I've seen and from what I've tested, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. They might be a little bit light on fuel if they push a little bit too hard. So there is a little bit of a chance of that, but generally probably not going to be looking at too much of a fuel-saving race, too much fuel issues. In all honesty here, it's going to be more down to tyre life and tyre wear. So you might see a couple of people decide to come in and actually chuck some fresh boots on the car just to see if they can get a little bit more speed. But the time you lose it in the pit stop can be quite high, of course. I think it's around about 45-50 seconds you're going to lose in the pit stop. And you're probably not going to gain that up on fresh tyres as they start to pull away for the pace lap behind the pace car, of course. It is that wonderful iRacing special that kind of looks like a Porsche up in front.
Is it not a Porsche?
It is the Porsche, yes.
Oh, right. Just the way you said it there, I was thinking, hang on a minute, I've always thought that was a Porsche. What's going on?
Well, I know they've got the generic car up in the Cup Series usually. I don't usually see the Porsche out there, and I was quickly sort of thinking, wait, is that a generic version of the car? But no, it is the Porsche. So we have actually got a Porsche out there tonight, so that's going to make you happy, Stuart.
Absolutely, and I'm a big fan of the Porsche. So we're just waiting for them to make their way around now, as we're just having a look at the scenic view of this track. A pokey little circuit, actually, a circuit that probably to most people looks like it's going to be pretty ordinary and straightforward, but is far from it. We're going to see a challenge into turn 1 where the track narrows. Even pit exit is a challenge, and this corner here as they rise above the crest is blind, so there is every chance of incident there this evening as we watch on. And as we saw in practice, it's easy here to get too wide as well and clip the wall, so there's a couple of spots there that could hurt the drivers, but they're hoping for a clean start here, and it will be Andrew Dyson who controls the field once that Porsche pace car moves into pit lane.
Yeah, it's not often you sit in you're sitting in a race car thinking, I wish I had that pace car instead of this race car, but I think most of these drivers tonight would very much prefer to be driving a Porsche around than one of these Xfinity cars, because these things are a handful.
Absolutely, that's what makes it so fun to watch.
It does indeed. So one of the things to watch out for is going to be the start, of course, because they have got that bus stop to go through turns 15 and 16. So when the green flag drops, half the field will be caught out and still going through that chicane. And you can see a little bit of action there. Sometimes they will drop sort of single file to get through there. But you know, it does get very tight through turn 16, and that can cause some problems on the old start. So watch out for that one, and see if anybody gets caught out with that. And then, of course, as I said, turn 1 is a really tricky corner, especially on cool tyres. I wouldn't be surprised to see a car looping it in that section, and there is very little runoff. It's a bit like a mini section of Monaco or Pau. It is just such a tight little section that there is no runoff and no room at all to squeeze those cars through. So pace car has come in. Andrew Dyson is going to lead us away for the Thunder Series, the Xfinity Series here on FGM eCast. The green flag is out and away they go. Good start for Dyson. Everybody trying to get through cleanly through that chicane, and it looks like they may have made it. So good job from all the drivers there.
Absolutely doing a ripping job. This is where it's also going to be treacherous down into turn 2. Cold tyres as well, no brakes, bad steering, thin tyres as well, so you got the works. Just about patience here to get through that first lap to make sure you don't ruin your night early on. There's a couple of moves early as Thomas Martin moves up 1 place. Dave Douglas as well has moved up 1 place, as is Aidan Schultz. So a few changes back behind this lead pack, but it is Andrew Dyson who takes us away at the front, and he is already opening up a gap. He is 1 second to the good over Edward Foster, so apologies in advance, Dyso. We may not see too much of you on the stream tonight as we focus on the battles that will be occurring behind you. Edward Foster has got Hamish Gallagher bearing down on him, but even they've broken away. So let's have a look.
Good run from Brenton West on Matty Raymond a little bit further down the pack. So Brenton West doing a good little run, and you can see these cars just absolutely piling in. Just got to say, really good job by all the drivers for getting through those first corners. Absolutely clean as a whistle. We've still got all the cars out there all pointing in the right direction at the moment. Really good job there from everybody. JCW making a move on Dave Douglas as they're getting through the oval section. You can see just sliding in front there. Joshua Carroll Walden getting in front of Double D. Nice move there from JCW. Douglas just struggling a little bit on the exit, just gets a little bit squirrely, hits the wall slightly, but he's managed to keep that one going. Meanwhile, up the front, Foster's got a bit of a lead over Hamish Gallagher, who's got a fairly solid lead over Josh Micklemore. Thomas Martin sitting just behind him, and he's got Aidan Schultz all over the back of him at the moment. Aidan Schultz putting a lot of pressure on the Daytona winner, I keep saying Jason Martin, Thomas Martin. So used to saying Jason in front of Martin, it throws me out, of course. Thomas Martin, new driver to the series.
Dave Douglas practices his drifting for post-race. Just getting a little loose there on the turn, but managing to grab hold of it.
Yeah, you don't want to do too much of that too early because that will start to heat up those rear tyres a bit, and that can cause some problems. Bit of problems for Stevie Dubb. He just got caught up a little bit. There's a big check up there, and that's caused a whole heap of cars to get right next to him. You can see Norman Clark having an absolute storming drive down the inside there as they go towards the bus stop. Norman Clark just puts the brakes on a little bit early to be safe there. It's going to be a big load of cars trying to get through that corner all at once, and they managed to do it somehow. All of those cars getting through cleanly. Great job from everybody.
Tell you what, Lachlan Urquhart was on the limit of the coefficient of friction there. He had absolutely everything crossed up as he was trying to pull up the 42 entry, and he managed to do so in the braking zone. So just up there behind Norman Clark and Tristan Cott as well. Mitchell West's involved, so 3 wide as they head across the start-finish line down into turn 1. This math doesn't often work. Oh, as Lockie gets through there, just manages to pull it down the inside of Tristan Cox, so they'll keep going. The race is on as they head down towards turn 2 and 3, and Lockie gets wide. He catches it though. Just managed. Oh, he's gone again, and there he goes. Lachlan Urquhart around, and he will have to make his way back up onto the back of the field.
That's a real big shame for Lockie. It's struggling a little bit tonight, just unable to get that car working for him completely right. Neil Pearson just in the chat cheering on his boys Daiso and Stevie Dubb, of course, and I can't remember if I said it for the race a few weeks back, but congratulations to Mr. Pearson on his engagement.
We did, but there's no shame in saying it again.
Yeah, that's it. Memory is not my best situational thing. Meanwhile, Stephen Williams has got Braden Martin in front of him, and I did promise Mr. Peter Wilkinson a bit of a curse for Braden Martin, so I'm going to say Braden Martin looking really good out there at the moment, doing a great job out on track and doing a very good job in that car, so he is really performing well. So there you go. My commitments are fulfilled.
It doesn't work when it's premeditated, Carl. It just doesn't work.
We'll soon find out, I'm sure.
There's a little bit of damage on the 090 entry of Braden Martin. He's currently battling away with Stevie Dubb. So Stevie Dubb just putting the pressure on the back in the 98 entry.
And they got the 274 of Luke Georgeson in front of them as well. Again, another newcomer, fresh blood to the ANZCAR series, having a good run here as well. It's good to see so many new names up there in the top 20. We've only got 22 cars out there, but it's still a lot of new faces in the higher up positions as well. So that's a really good sign. Dave Douglas has dropped down to P10. Brenton West is doing a good job of charging his way up the field. He's trying to catch up to Cade Donnelly at the moment, so he's really on the back of him as it stands. Meanwhile, Aidan Schultz has managed to get past JCW and is just trying to catch up to Thomas Martin at the moment and put some pressure on him. A little bit of damage on the not a little bit of damage on the front of Schultz's car there. It's just the paint job.
Yeah, no, he's doing good things, Aidan. Just keep an eye on him. I feel like he's going to get a win before the end of this season. Gail Foster in the chat there, just saying Dyson's something else on the circuit. Absolutely, he is. He is from another planet. And Callum Heinrich saying, go locked on, boys. Absolutely, we'll jump on board with one of them in a minute as we just have a look at this battle here with Schultz developing. It is close. He's pulled a margin on JCW. He's got 2 seconds to the good up the road onto him. So, and Micklemore's not getting away either. So whether he's just managing at the moment, he's just maintaining the gap. He's got his teammate Hamish Gallagher in front of him. So he's not under too much pressure at the moment, Josh. But we'll see how that plays out for him.
But it's a big thing at the moment of actually managing those tyres a little bit, not pushing too hard, because right here you could start pushing really, really hard in this race and actually start damaging your tyres for later on in the session. Meanwhile, Braden Martin's got Gary Wellman all over the back of him, as Gary Wellman's managed to get the move on Stevie Dubb as well. So Wellman in the Simboys car, the green Simboys car, is putting all the pressure on at the moment. It's on a little bit of a charge, and we've seen the Simboys having some really good runs recently as well. And they are once again having another good race. Wellman trying to get underneath Martin there as they're getting towards the bus stop and can't quite get it done. Good defensive move there by Martin. Gets a little bit of a lock-up getting through the corner, but no harm, no foul. Big slide out of the corner there for Wellman, but keeps it on the track, importantly.
Good views off the roof of Martin's car here, thanks to the guys at Track Camps for Gourmets. As Gary Wellman looks to go down the inside here. He's got the 45 all hooked up. I think he's going to get it done too. Stevie Dubb looking to take advantage. As Braden just runs a little bit wide there. He's got to defend heavily here, but he's got Stevie Dubb down as they head up towards the crest. What's he going to do here? He's brave on that outside. Just runs him a little bit wide there. He loses that position, and it looks like, is that West? Mitchell West it is.
Yeah, Mitchell West trying to get that done.
Almost getting it done.
Really nice overtake. That was a real late lunge from Gary Wellman. Stevie Dubb just taking advantage of it. Can't keep hold of that position though as Martin gets past Stephen Williams there. Great overtaking though. That was fantastic work from those drivers.
Looks like Stevie Dubb there just ran wide on the exit onto the banking, and that is what allowed Braden Martin to catch back up.
Meanwhile, up front, Aidan Schultz has made a move on Thomas Martin. So Schultz has got the 52 up ahead of Thomas Martin. So he's pushing his way forwards. Next up on his hit list is Josh Micklemore. So Aidan Schultz having a good run. 2 positions gained in this race so far. And he's been having some really good runs of late in the Truck Series on Monday night, getting a solid P2 finish.
So how can Aidan address this gap now as he is closing in on Josh Micklemore? That gap just on a second. And best do it just for the sake of consistency. I'll just check that Andrew Dyson is still running out the front, and he is.
Just to check that Andrew Dyson is still out there and he's not just pulled over. Just have a little bit of a snack on something.
Want to make sure
something made by the Phoenix Smokers crew.
That's it. Make sure he's still awake.
Yep.
Jump on board with him here. There he is. Yeah, it looks like he's still awake. Dyso there. Just cutting all up.
Jump on the roll hoop camp from the onboard just to get a bit of a look around the lap with this thing, because, you know, just watching Dyso through these corners is something else. He's just so confident in these cars and on the road courses in general. He's just got this real confidence of him and just able to get those cars working as well. We've seen it, of course, in the ANZCAR series many times, but also in the Ozpass as well. We've seen Dyso have some really good wins in that as well, and he can definitely get a car hustling on these road courses.
Yeah, as you said that, I was actually just about to jump in, and Dyso qualified in 12th in the Oz Pro Am Sim Series Series 5 that's coming up last night, and that's in a field of extraordinarily talented circuit racers, so there's no surprise that he's doing well here tonight. He's quick in the V8 supercar as well, so a bit like Hobbo.
Jumping back to Josh Micklemore, we've got a move going on from Aidan Schultz. Aidan Schultz getting down on the inside through the oval section here, and you can see Hamish Gallagher just up in front. I think Hamish might have made a little bit of mistakes. He seems to have dropped back a little bit from what I recall.
Yeah, he has.
So, yeah, he's just dropped back a little bit, so that's going to give him, that's going to help Aidan Schultz a little bit as he's made the move on the Mitch Motorsport car. Schultz making his charge through the field. He's got the option now. He's got the opportunity now to make a bit of a pass on the Diet Coke machine of Hamish Gallagher, of course. A little bit of crinkling on that car. He's had a little bit of a
looks like he's clipped the wall. Yep.
Yep. And I'm just going back to see what's actually happened with that one. And so he's had a... Let's see what's happened there. I'll be back to you very shortly.
Neil Pearson jumping into the chat saying that Dyso's just waiting on his 3-piece feed to be delivered.
The food of champions, of course. He only gets it though if he wins, because only winners can get chicken dinner, of course. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's the important part.
I was just thinking, this isn't Le Mans. Like, there's no KFC on the roadside. What are we talking about here?
Look, it's in America. There's got to be a KFC at least within, 2 minutes of anywhere in the location. So Hamish Gallagher just tagging the wall a little bit earlier on, just crinkling the nose of that Supra and giving Taylor Swift's beautiful face a big swipe across the concrete, so that's not going to help that one out.
Just jumping on board here with Norm Clark, who's had a little bit of an incident. I'd say he's either just rotated the number 9. Oh, no, he's just decided to go four-wheel driving over the sausage, and that is an onions on top episode. He's gone straight into the wall. So no good there.
Big moment there. Yeah, those sausage curbs are horrible things, and they will just launch the car, and there's nothing you can do about that. Currently sitting in P2 is the Natari driver of Edward Foster. He's sitting there pretty comfortably at the moment. 12 seconds off Daiso. He's got about a 3-second lead over Hamish Gallagher. So he's sort of just sitting comfortably there, not pushing too hard at the moment, just not wanting to burn off those tyres too much. Meanwhile, JCW has got Brenton West all over the back of him, a little bit further back in the field. Brenton West trying his best to put the pressure on JCW, and he's really doing a good job at the moment. Will we see another Brenton West P5 finish tonight? It's been pretty consistent all year round as he just goes into the wall. There we go, curse to the commentator there, just absolutely doing its job. Just making a bit of a tag, but we have seen Brenton West consistently up in those sort of top 5 places all year round, and he's doing another good job tonight. Starting down in P12, he's made 4 positions up in the race so far.
Yeah, improving rapidly is Brenton. It's good to see. I like the challenge up at the top. He was putting the hustle on the back of JCW there, just that little clip of the wall. Did call it in the practice and qualifying there that wall was going to catch someone out, and unfortunately Brenton there just running a little wide. It's very easy to do. To head across that off camber. He's got through here. JCW a little wide in a bus stop, collects as much of that sausage curve as he can to get the 035 turned in front of us.
Yeah, you can use those curbs to get that curb hop and actually get that car turned in as well, and that's one of the things. It's sort of getting all of the advantages out of the car that you can, and you'll see the fast drivers tending to do that when they want to get a really good lap hooked up to them. Meanwhile, up the front for barrel for P3 is starting to get a little bit spicier, as Schultz is catching up to the back of Hamish Gallagher at the moment. So Schultz is setting some good consistent lap times at the moment, and he is a couple attempts quicker than Hamish Gallagher the last few laps, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, Josh Micklemore is still trying to catch Thomas Martin. So Martin having a good run there up ahead of Josh Micklemore. JCW, meanwhile, is still defending against Brenton West and Kay Donnelly. Kay Donnelly just sitting on the back of that little train and just thinking, look, if you guys make a mistake, I'm going to be ready to pounce on you.
Yeah, we're just on board with him just before. Luke Georgeson as well. It's got Gary Wellman in his sights. Sorry, I should say Gary Wellman's got Luke Georgeson in his sights. And not too far off the back there is Braden Martin as well. So battles just developing. The field's spread out now nicely, which is good. We get these nice little battles to cover. Tristan Cocklock and Urquio now back at it again. Of course, we saw this battle at the start of the race. And they're back at it again as Lockie tries to recover from that early incident. Already back up into P18. Matty Rain, another one we haven't spoken about too much tonight. Generally the way he likes it. He's dropped 1 place. He's just outside the top 10. Sitting P11. But his car is clean.
Yeah, good run so far. Just the one little issue, and just losing 1 position out at the moment. And he's got Dave Douglas in front of him, and he's going to try his best to try and catch up to him. But he's sitting in a little bit of a lonely spot at the moment. So we're expecting this race to be pretty much no stop affair. So that's what the the chat was that I was hearing through most of the drivers that they're going to be trying to go the full 33 laps. But we might see a few people roll the dice a little bit and try a single stop, just come in for tyres and see if they can do anything on that. But of course, it depends how much of a gap you've got behind you and how much time you're going to lose, how much track position you're going to lose, because it's not the easiest track to overtake on sometimes, but that tyre advantage can really help you out sometimes.
Well, Daiso might pit just to spice it up for himself, maybe turn it into a zinger combo rather than a three-piece feed, but he, at the moment, 16 seconds to the good. He's putting on about a second a lap at this point in time. So, doing it very well. This to take nothing away from the drivers behind him at all. I'm a fan of that livery. It's absolutely cracking.
Yeah, you like your orange, don't you?
I'm certainly a McLaren man, and I love the orange. So, it looks fantastic on that. Just a little accents there, but... excuse me, while I have a Man Crush live on air in the livery there, Edward Foster doing the same sort of job. But you can see in the background there, this battle's starting to get a lot closer. So Hayden Schultz starting to put pressure on the back of Hamish Gallagher.
I was about to say, speaking of orange, we've got that orange on the Aussie Air esports car of Hayden Schultz, and he's starting to put that pressure on as well. I'm keeping an eye as well on the battle between Luke Georgeson and Braden Martin as well, because those two are getting a little bit closer now as well. But currently I think it's going to be the Schultz and Gallagher battle to keep the big eye on. Schultz having a really good run at the moment, and but he's definitely been having a good go with it. Meanwhile, just a little bit further back, it looks like Kay Donnelly has made a move on Brenton West, getting past him up into P8. So good move from Kay Donnelly there, just through the bus stop, I would say. He just managed to get a better run out of the bus stop. So Brenton West just made a little bit of a mistake out of the bus stop. Kay Donnelly just got the inside line through that first corner and made the pass. So nice job there as Josh Micklemore spins it. Micklemore has gone around. He's had a big moment just going through turn number 4. He's gone up on the sausage curb. Big hit there, and that spun that car around, and that's going to lose him a lot of time. So Micklemore's just lost a lot of places there. Yeah, dropping him back to P9.
Just grabbed the right-hand rear on the grass on the entry into the corner. He tried to save it. That shot him across onto the sausage curb, and that was the end of it.
Dyson's in the pits. Dyson is in the pit lane. You were just saying about Dyson pitting, and he's decided he's going to pit. So is this a foreshadowing of what's to come for everybody else? Is everybody else going to be coming into pit lane? So Dyso has stopped, so he's coming into pit lane right now. That's going to give Foster the lead of this race. Just seeing what Dyson does, he's just taken all 4 sets of tyres and got back out again. So 40 seconds in the pit lane. I think that's what I said earlier on. It was about a 40-second loss. So Dyso has dropped back to P5 now. He's just in front of Joshua Carroll Walden, I think. So just in front of JCW. And now he's got some fresh tyres, and we'll see what he can do from here.
Stevie Dubb, Luke Georgeson also into pit lane now. So maybe the driver's deciding that this is the time to go and get a new set of tyres for the balance of the race. 19 laps to go, so it's not quite halfway through, but perhaps that's what Edward Foster might be thinking. Maybe he's going to get halfway and chuck a new set of boots onto the 53.
Yeah, of course, the later you leave it, generally the better it works out for you. Those fresh tyres can be a little bit better in the later stages, but you do have the undercut. So the undercut where you pit first and then you make up time on those fresh tyres. So we'll see what difference this makes for Dyso right now. And we'll see how this one is going to go for him. On those fresh tyres, of course, they'll be a bit cold at the moment, so he's just got to get some warmth into them, but he is absolutely attacking the curbs, and he is very much going for it, so I think we're going to see a very fast stop. Kate Donnelly coming into pit lane now as well, so I think everybody is going to be looking at coming in for at least one stop then. I think we'll be seeing everybody coming through pit lane just for maybe they're just a lap or two shy on fuel as well, because when I was doing my practice out there, I think it was just very much on the cusp of fuel for making it to the end. So I think everybody's deciding to come in for that and chuck a fresh set of boots on it as well, because that will make a big difference to the cars as well.
Yeah, absolutely it will. So we'll see who plays which strategy. Just still watching Aidan Schultz in pursuit of Hamish Gallagher. Gale just saying that Mickelmore must not like this circuit. He's losing positions before he spun. Yeah, it's not the strongest performance we've seen from Josh tonight. He's still in 8th position though, so time left to recover something out of the night.
Yeah, you can never count Mickelmore out. I mean,
no.
you know, we've seen him do some great things with just one eye. He's done some great things, and now he's back to binocular vision. It should be even better. So to give you an idea of how much faster those fresh tyres are, 1:21.427 for Andrew Dyson there. While Foster's last lap was a 1:25. So yeah, a little bit of pace difference there. That's pretty darn quick. That's just a couple of tenths off of Dyson's qualifying lap. If Dyson had done that lap in qualifying, that would have still got him pole.
And Neil Pearson's jumped in saying he's going to be 3 seconds quicker this lap. He absolutely was. His fastest time prior to that was a 1:24. He's done a 1:21.43, so absolutely grabbed 3 seconds. And yeah, I think Gal, I think you're right. I think that he probably would have won this one without a stop. But be that as it may, you never know what might happen. He's making his way. He's already caught up onto the back of Aidan Schultz and Hamish Gallagher, so he's caught up onto this battle. So effectively 44 seconds or so to the good on second and third place, because they have not stopped yet, if they choose to stop, of course.
Yeah, of course, now catching is one thing, passing is another, but those tyres are going to make a huge advantage here, and you can just see Daiso just much later on the brakes into that first corner, just has so much more confidence, just able to carry that car through, and I think he should just be absolutely siving his way through. You can see just taking the very different lines here, doing a fantastic job there, Daiso, and just really getting some good speed through there, just absolutely catching Hamish Gallagher out, and he'll soon be on the back of Foster as well, back into the lead of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Good run here from Daiso. This is in pursuit now of Edward Foster. So have a look at a couple of these other battles that are growing through the pack. Matty Raymond's under pressure now from Gary Wellman as well. Bit of damage to the back of the 45, but as you'd expect, nothing on the 83 at this point in time. So good run here out of the corner there for Matty Ray. Who's going to be next to jump into pit lane? I mean, you might see just those few run through to run the gauntlet and make up those positions. 15 to go here.
Yeah, might see some people just absolutely sticking it out there and just going for it. Foster has been caught up to by Dyson now. Daiso all over the back of Foster. And Foster will try his best to keep him behind, but not much you can do when there's a car that much faster behind you. And that was like snatching candy from a baby there. So just passed very quickly. But right now you just got to think, you know, Dyson's really put some fast, hard laps in there as well. And we have seen the tyres do drop off a little bit, so, you know, he might put a little bit too much heat in those tyres, and this is where a mistake could come in. I very much doubt it, but you never know. This is motorsport, and that's one of those things that can absolutely happen. Meanwhile, just looking through the field, next car that stopped is Kay Donnelly. He's just behind Braden Martin at the moment. So Kay Donnelly is trying to catch up to Braden Martin, so he'll be doing his best to catch up there. There's a bit of a gap though, so it looks like Martin's going to try and stick it out there a little bit, see what he can do. Kay Donnelly on those fresher tyres, setting some relatively good laps. He's about a second a lap faster than the rest of the field, sort of on those slightly older tyres that are in front of him. But there's not a huge difference for some of the drivers out there on the fresh tyres to some of the drivers that have stuck it out there. So let's see how that one goes. Although that last lap, he was 3 seconds quicker than Martin. So yeah, he will catch up to him relatively soon.
There's West
Gonna
in the
say
pit
that
lane.
fresh
Ooh.
tyres looks like a good idea. Brenton West coming in now, yes. So Brenton West will have some nice fresh tyres towards the end of this race, and that will help him out for those last 14 laps. And that could be a really good move from West. This could really help him out towards the end of the race as people start to struggle a little bit more.
Having a look at Dave Douglas. So he went past Brenton West in the pit lane. Raymond Wellman Martin's just got past West, obviously, because he's in the lane. So he's moved up a few more positions. Cade Donnelly still behind him, not able to capitalise on those fresh tyres just yet. A bit closing the gap.
Just looking through the field at the moment. So, not sure if we got this. Aiden Schultz ahead of Hamish Gallagher now. So, Aiden Schultz sitting in P3 at the moment.
Missed that one.
So, yeah, I was just thinking, I probably missed that one, and he has now moved it up into P3. Tristan Cock just coming into the pit lane. So, yeah, just a move here from Hamish Gallagher, just getting down on the inside there and just moving his way up the field as they come to the first of the chicanes and just getting that move done on the oval section. So a nice run out of the corner there for Aiden Schultz. And he's going to be targeting Foster now, seeing what he can do. So not much of a gap between himself and Foster. So Aiden Schultz has definitely got a little bit of pace, but Foster, I think Foster's just saving some tyres at the moment. Last time round, Foster was a 25 dead, while Aiden Schultz was a 25.6, but he was passing another car. We'll see what this next lap brings out for Aiden Schultz, because if he is a little bit quicker, that could be good news for him to try and catch up to Foster and try and get a P2.
As you said, he might have just saved a little bit. Ed's had it a little bit to his own. He's been running in free air for a majority of the race, other than just earlier on where Daiso got that position back. But he's had a little bit to his own. So if Schultz has done well here, charging through the field, he's up 4 spots. So if he's managed to manage his tyres well while doing that, then all credit to him.
Yeah, 4 spots gained here is a good job indeed. Another driver who's doing quite well on spots gained is Gary Wellman in P10, 7 positions gained. But a few of those drivers have pitted around him, so he is he's running in a position where he's he's probably going to get those drivers that pitted coming up towards him relatively soon, as they are on much fresher tyres. People like Brenton West, for example, he's going to be trying to gain up those positions, gain back those spots that he lost in pit lane, and see if he can get advantage of those fresh tyres. So Foster last time round 124.9, Aiden Schultz a 125.1. So Foster definitely saved a little bit of tyres there, and it looks like he's just cruising along at the moment. He's just setting his pace and just easing it out at the moment. Meanwhile, Daiso is still the fastest car on track. Only just Brenton West almost pipping him that last time round in the 122s.
Yeah, so decent gap here for Ed. Let's see if he decides to pit or not as he comes up on the back of Peter Wilkinson. He just makes way for the 53 entry to head on through. Complete another lap, 11 to go here.
I think we're going to see Foster sticking it out with Schultz. I think all those drivers that have pondered a pit stop have made it. I don't think we're going to see anybody else make a stop here, because they're going to lose too much time and too many positions. For instance, if Foster pitted right now, he would drop down to around about E11.
Yeah, too far, as you say. 40, the transition time, none of it changes because it's tyres only, so 40 odd seconds, 44 odd seconds at see him down behind Brenton West, so in P14. even at 3 seconds a lap, he's not going to make that gap up. So it's about management from here. For him, Aidan Schultz, Hamish Gallagher as well. So the other than our race leader Andrew Dyson, Kate Donnelly is the first of the pack on fresh rubber, and he is still making his way through.
And he is getting caught very quickly by Brenton West, who's just got past Braden Martin. So Brenton West is on an absolute flyer at the moment. He's the first time I've seen on my timing screens that somebody's gone faster than Daiso on a lap. So Brenton West is getting some good use out of those much fresher tyres. His tyres have only done 3 laps, whereas the rest of the field have done a fair few more. So for some reason Kate Donnelly's one is not coming up correctly for me. It's saying that his stint number is wrong, but I know he's come in for tyres, so that's...
Yeah, on lap 15.
15, thank you very much. So yeah, good old software issues. But Brenton West has got a lot more speed at the moment, so West is catching Donnelly, and last time round, West was about 3 seconds quicker, so West is absolutely flying at the moment, just catching these guys, sort of hand over fist at the moment, so he's doing a really good job. Meanwhile, Thomas Martin is catching on Hamish Gallagher, so Gallagher has got to watch out now, defending for P4, because Thomas Martin is putting all the pressure he can on him. Looks down the inside, doesn't quite make the move here, but might get a good run off the corner. He's going to try and get a good run onto the oval section, see if he can get a little bit of that slipstreaming action, get a little bit of the draft here, see what he can do, see if he can do a bit of a late braking manoeuvre into one of the bus stop chicanes. So Martin has definitely got some good pace there. And again, good to see from the winner of the Daytona race, of course, Thomas Martin, in his debut. So he's had a very strong season so far for his first season in ANZCAR, and really doing a good job again tonight and showing that he's good on not just the ovals, but also on the road tracks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing a cracker of a job. Still got work to do, though. He's going to get that position away from Hamish Gallagher.
So drivers at major risk at the moment of Kay Donnelly and Brenton West are Dave Douglas, Matty Raymond, Gary Wellman. All 3 of those drivers are going to be at risk of Brenton West and Kay Donnelly shortly, so they're going to have to keep an eye out on those guys. Josh Mickelmore's had a fairly decent little recovery and settled it down in P7 just behind Joshua Carroll-Walden up there in P6 at the moment. So those two are marching on. And you've got to say, at the moment, it looks like Kay Donnelly is holding West up a little bit. So West might be on a... West has definitely got a bit more pace than Kay Donnelly. So he's going to want to try and get past him and try and make his way up, as we've got 8 laps remaining here at the Charlotte Roval. Meanwhile, up towards the front, the battle for P4 is very much on, as Martin is trying to make a move on Gallagher right here. Thomas Martin really putting the pressure on Hamish Gallagher. And he's going to get a good run into the final chicane. What you probably want to do here is actually just try and get a good exit out of the shape, out of this corner, rather than try and make an overtake here. So you can try and make a pass into turn 1, and it looks like Martin's going to try that. He's got a good run out of the corner. He gets down the inside, and he does make that pass on Hamish Gallagher for P4.
Got it done. I just noticed on the back there of Hamish's car that it says more short tracks on his rear bumper. You just see it there above the Toyota logo, so clearly a message to the race admin there.
He likes his short tracks, does Hamish? He's a short track lover, and you know, a lot of drivers will have the same feeling. But of course, we do try and follow the calendar as close as we can to the official series, and unfortunately, short tracks they lost a little bit of popularity, unfortunately.
So on board here with Brenton West as he still harasses the back of Kay Donnelly. They've now caught up to Gary Wellman, Matty Raymond, Dave Douglas off in the distance a bit there. This is definitely costing Brenton West tyre and time always. He gets real close there on the back of Kay Donnelly. Not quite able to get the nose turned in underneath it, so focus on the good run here. It's a little late on the exit there, and it's cost him a bit of time. You can see there Donnelly getting away, and both of them getting underneath Gary Wellman like he's jogging on the spot. Might have got, I don't think you can get a slow down there, so I'm not sure what's happened there with Gary. Maybe he missed a gear.
Honestly, I think it was just traction out of the corner there.
Very slow.
I just think that was more just traction.
There's West again, gets real close. Donnelly gets better drive again. So can he do something down into the bus stop?
West needs to do the similar move that we saw from Martin and Gallagher. He just needs to get a good run out of this bus stop and get a good jog into turn one, and he's not quite managed that this time. He just needs to take that first corner a little bit more aggressively, not take as much curb on that second corner, because that loses you a little bit of exit time. But he might get a run here as Matty Ray is in front of them, and if Matty Ray just catches if Matty Ray just gets in front of Kay Donnelly, it might just lose Donnelly a little bit of time and give Martin the opportunity. Martin just needs to just have that little bit of patience here, because these two are absolutely flying. Martin does have the freshest tyres out of this big group, but Matty Ray is not going to want to give up this position lightly. Matty Ray gets on the inside, Martin on the outside. Martin gets caught up behind Matty Ray there, and he's going to get really caught up here through this section. Matty Ray is still trying to hold that position, can't quite do it. That's going to give Kate Donnelly a little bit of breathing room as they are side by side on the exit. Now Matty Ray's got a good exit out of the corner. This has given Martin the chance to jump down behind Matty Ray. He's getting a little bit of toe, and you can see Kate Donnelly aggressively there, chopping his way in front of Martin, in front of West, just to stop that from happening. Really good defensive driving from Matty Ray there, just trying his best to stop that from happening. This has given Gary Weldon the chance to get back up there. You can see West and Donnelly are really trying for it. West is trying to use that toe from Matty Raymond at the moment to try and make a move on Kay Donnelly. Can't quite make it work as they get so close through the corners there. West has just got caught up behind Raymond there as Donnelly makes that pass really well. Now, doesn't quite get it into turn one. Donnelly gets a big amount of oversteer through the first corner, loses a lot of time, but manages to keep it going in a straight line somehow. Good recovery there from Donnelly to save that car, because I thought that was going around.
What great driving from all of the drivers there. Very little grip, but managing to keep it clean as now West closes the door on Matty Ray, gets the job done, and Gary Wellman back on it here as well. He's looking to try and get the move through on Matty Ray. So Matty Ray under pressure is going to drop potentially one more position. This has championship implications as well, as Wellman now tries to do the M&M round the outside, doesn't quite get it done. So Matty Ray will live to fight another lap. Speaking of laps, we've got 5 to go here. It'll be 4 as Daiso will cross the start-finish line. In fact, he already has, so it's 5 to go as we sit. He's already through another lap, so...
Matty Ray gets a lot of wheel spin out the corner. That could give Wellman the opportunity, but Wellman also had that back end just getting a little bit out on him. So those two are starting to struggle a little bit with those rear tyres now as they're getting long into those stints. They've been on those tyres all race long, of course. The drivers in front of them have come in for a pit stop, and they're starting to struggle a little bit as that battle happened. And yeah, those two have definitely closed up one of the closest battles on track.
And Matty Ray's cooked his rear tyres. Just struggling a lot here as we ride on board with Gary Wellman. Oh, as Wellman runs wide. Wellman runs wide, gives a breath of fresh air to Matty Raymond. And Matty Ray will make away. He might not be able to make that gap back up now. That might be all she wrote for Gary Wellman. Give Matty Ray the breath he needs.
Jumping up to the front. Meanwhile, Hamish Gallagher is putting a bit of pressure on Thomas Martin now. So Gallagher's just been sitting behind Martin for a little bit, just watching his driving style and just getting a bit of an idea of what he can do. Big clip across the sausage curb there for Hamish Gallagher, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time out of that corner. Not what he needed to do. That's lost him a little bit of time.
Hamish Gallagher there jumps the queue at Bunnings and orders 6 with onions, just holding everyone up. Not the quickest way to get your shopping done, that's for sure.
big accident for Mitchell West, unfortunately. He's lost it going into the bus stop, lost it, gone completely round in front of Josh Micklemore, and he's had a big spin. And he's managed to get it back going, but he got out in front of Kay Donnelly and just cost Kay Donnelly a little tiny bit of time. So just if Kay Donnelly had come through maybe about half a second sooner, he would have caught West as he was just spinning it back around. So very close there. That was one of those moments where you'd have gone, ooh.
Dave Douglas just gets a little crossed up there and gets real crossed up there. And that's allowed Donnelly through. He's doing a bit of a drift. It's not going to work out well for him. As the 113, Brenton West looks like he's going to make his way through as well. So a couple of positions dropped there for Double D. Just running out of rear tyre rapidly.
Yeah, really. It's I'm not sure if it's really paid off for that pit stop, in all honesty, because it has lost quite a few positions, but it has made the cars a little bit more drivable. That's the thing. I think they were hoping that there would be a bit more attrition for those drivers on those older tyres, and it's not really paid off. Brenton West was running up in P7, I believe, off the top of my head, before he pitted. So he has lost a few positions by coming into the pit lane. He could possibly manage to get it back up there, but he's got to catch Josh Micklemore, which is going to be a tricky thing to do.
Yeah, there's no chance he's going to get under Micklemore at this point in time with 3 to go. Gap's too big. Kate Donnelly potentially, but Donnelly's on fresh tyres as well, or fresher tyres. And you think that maybe that's going to be it as Dave Douglas goes around in the background. Let's have a quick look at this one. Oh, he's just on the gas. Got a little loose and then got wide. And went around.
Look, honestly, I think Dave Douglas has lost those rear tyres completely. They have just dropped off the cliff. So they have very much dropped off the cliff. So Douglas is just going to be having to nurse that car around and might even come into pit lane, just chuck a fresh set on, or just stick it out there and just try not to lose the car too much now, because he is really struggling for grip out there. Looks like he's driving on ice.
Yeah, absolutely it does. It's not the end of the Formula One on the weekend, as there are 2 laps to go. Daiso's through, or halfway through one of those 2 laps. Just stick on board here with our race leader. In fact, he's just in front of Dave Douglas there as well. Looks like Hamish Gallagher has closed right up on the back of Thomas Martin, so this is for 4th position. Got our podium pretty much wrapped up at this point in time. So it looks like there Matty Hunter just getting passed by these 2. Thomas Martin, Hamish Gallagher battling away for P4 as Daiso starts the final lap of the race in what has been a dominant performance here. We'll jump to him. We'll just keep a look on this battle here, so you can see how close Hamish Gallagher is. Mitch Motorsport Diet Coke liveried entry. He's going to try the run underneath here. He's in the better position for the run in. Martin's going to have to pull up earlier to try and get through here. How does he do it? It's a shallow entry and he's cut the course. He's run out of track. Gallagher, meanwhile, grabs way too much sausage. You can't say that. And that's going to be a slowdown. Yeah, absolutely, a slowdown for Martin.
He's managed to just about keep it there, but Gallagher's going to get a good run through the inside now. They're side by side, and I think Gallagher is going to get that position. Martin just conceding that position from that cross-country run. But it is Andrew Dyson who is going to be coming home for the win tonight. Going to be winner chicken dinner for Mr. Andrew Dyson tonight. He's going to be pretty happy about that one. Great run again, managing to just keep that car out in front, even coming in for a pit stop as well. Andrew Dyson just once again proving he is just the class of the field when it's on the old racetracks. Very good run for him. Meanwhile, second place Foster has still got that one secured, kept those tyres nice and in a good running condition, running temperature for himself, able to keep that car in a good position ahead of Aidan Schultz, who's sitting in 3rd position. So Foster's going to come around for the final time, cross the line here, and gets that P2 finish. Another good run for Foster on the road courses. He may be the first to tell you that he's absolutely hopeless on them, but again, another good finish for him. Aidan Schultz manages to finish in 3rd position. Meanwhile, Hamish Gallagher finishes in 4th, Thomas Martin in 5th. Joshua Carroll-Walden's going to come home in 6th position. He's just nursing the car around, though. It looks like he's just struggling a lot, actually. So Josh Micklemore absolutely closing up on him. Another lap, and I think JCW would have lost that position. JCW just having an issue there at the end, but managed to still come home P6. 7th for Josh Micklemore. Kate Donnelly P8. Brenton West P9, another top 10 finish. And Matty Raymond coming home in P10. That's good news for his championship. Gary Wellman P11. Braden Martin coming home P12 for his debut. Stevie Williams in 13th. 14th for Dave Douglas. Lachlan Urquio 15th. Norman Clark 16th. Luke Georgeson 17th. 18th for Maddie Hunter. Peter Wilkinson in 19th position. Another top 20 finish for him. Tristan Cott in 20th position. Mitchell West 21st. And Scotty Griffith coming home in 22nd.
Fantastic race there from everyone. And really pretty much incident free as well. So good driving standards as usual from this category. Electra Hare jumping into the chat saying Schultze making huge leaps with his driving lately. Absolutely he is. That's 2 races in a row he's in the podium and done a ripping job. And Gal saying a good job by Ed Foster. I think there might be some bias there, but that was another good job from Ed. Not much he could do tonight, but keep it clean and consistent and bring home a solid 2nd position. And he has done just that, which will be good for his championship. We're still getting to enjoy the theatrics of Andrew Dyson here. This is a highlights package all by itself in the simrigs.com entry.
Now, I will be back with you in just one moment, Stuart. Just want to ask a quick question to one of the drivers.
No dramas at all. So it is Andrew Dyson taking out the win there. We will bring the podium in for post-race interviews as always. It's Andrew Dyson taking out a very commanding win. Do remember that he did pit during the race. Only half a dozen or so drivers deciding that it was a run through pit lane that was required for this race. Andrew Dyson, one of them, still taking out the race by 26 or 25 seconds. Beyond.
I just was noticed, so JCW running out of fuel pretty much at the end there. He was clutching it to the end and just creeped it across the line. So Josh Micklemore almost made that position up. If there was an extra couple of meters in that race, JCW would have lost that position.
Yeah, wow, okay. That is interesting. So there were a few who were close on fuel. That probably played into Dyso's mind when he decided to jump into pit lane. He still goes around celebrating.
Doing the lap of honour still, and he's got the fuel to do it with as well. So very much a full lap of honour, making sure there is nothing left on those rears as well. Look, if anyone deserves a victory lap, it is Mr. Dyson.
He's still doing a burnout there. We'll just wait a few more moments, and then we will grab him into pit lane, into the commentary booth, I should say. Surely those tyres and motor won't have too long to go.
No, it'll be expiring soon, so we grab down our 3rd place finisher. So we grab down Mr. Aidan Schultz of Ozia Esports. Aidan, it's become a regular thing of chatting to you in this room lately.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row, mate. I'll be happy with that one.
It's been a good run for you recently. This is something that is I'm very happy to say. But a good week so far. Are you going to make it a triple tomorrow?
Super Speedway tomorrow night, aren't we?
Yes, we are. With Talladega.
Flip a coin on that one, mate.
Well, we'll see if you can make it the triple. We saw Skerlock do it last week. We'll see if you can do it this week. Really good run out there tonight, obviously. Probably not the qualifying result you would have wanted, starting down there in P7, but made 4 positions in that race. Nice big gain there. Lots of good overtakes as well. Looks like you were having some fun out there.
Yeah, I was. I nuffed qualifying as I generally do. I was telling the boys in the green room, I was about 3/10 up on my practice time on that first lap, and I got a 0x coming across the line, so that pretty much done that. So, yeah, P7 it was, and it made it a bit of fun to come through. So,
no, congratulations on that one. I sort of heard from JCW, he was very light on fuel towards the end there. Yourself, how was the old fuel situation for you?
No, not a problem for me, mate. 1.4 laps left when I went across the line, so not a problem for me at all.
But that is pretty impressive with the pushing you were doing as well, because you had to do a fair few overtakes in that race as well. We saw some great battles with yourself, Hamish, Thomas Martin, and Joshy Micklemore as well, and I think JCW as well at the early stages as well. So lots of fighting having to go on, but good clean racing out there as well.
Yeah, it was with the fuel. Once I got some clean air, it was just rolling off that little bit early before the braking zone just to make sure of it. Once I got about 10 laps to go, I knew I could sort of put the foot down a little bit more. I tried to drag back Ed probably through that mid to three-quarter section of the race, but I had nothing. So settled for third, just managed that gap to the boys in fourth and fifth, and we come home with another podium.
Yeah, you answered my next question, so that's helped me out a little bit. No, congratulations on the P3 tonight. Well done indeed. I am sure the whole team will be very happy with that, and hopefully we'll be seeing Ruben back from his holidays soon, and he can hopefully try and make it and get both the cars up here one night.
Yeah, hopefully. I spoke to him today. I believe he's back out on track at Talladega tomorrow night, so hopefully we see 2 cars tomorrow night, mate.
No, look, we'll wish you all the best for that one. Hopefully we'll get both the cars up here at some stage. It would be nice to get both of the team cars up here. But before I let you go tonight, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and people in general.
Of course, first and foremost has to be my beautiful partner, Prue. She's always there supporting me. So her, Aussie Esports, and Ruben, obviously, for deliveries and all the help on practice that we do together when he's not off sunbaking in the sunset. And Daiso, obviously, mate, you're just a class above. That was just a masterclass. And Ed on the second place. Of course, FGM Ecast for the broadcast.
They have sun in New Zealand?
Oh, he might be using one of those thermal lights or something, not sure.
He's in a sunbed. Yeah, don't trust him. No, congratulations, Angels. Well done again on that P3, and hopefully you can make it trifecta tomorrow night. Good luck, mate.
Thank you, guys. No worries.
Next up, we head to the Atari Autosports. Edward Foster, congratulations on the P2 there, mate.
Thanks a lot.
A bit of a lonely drive for you out there tonight.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'd rather that than have to race people tooth and nail. There was no chance of catching Daiso. I'm going to say that I won the Festivus race, the race for the rest of us, because he was just out the front on his own. I don't know how he manages to drive that way and keep the tyres on it. I was saying to him, but I knew that we were probably going to try and run non-stop, and 33 laps is a fair way around here on a set of tyres, so fuel was going to be marginal as well. So, it wasn't a case of really, I'm not saying that I could have done any different or had a better result if I'd pushed a little bit, but certainly it was on the back of my mind to just forget about Daiso. He was going to disappear and just try to manage the gap to the guys behind and not try to extend it too much too early, because I'll probably come back to me at the end. So it was I was really just trying not to extend that gap and just keep it at around about sort of 3-4 seconds behind all race, which I managed to do.
That's it. That's a Class 2 win for you tonight, so that's a good thing. Look, we always hear from you that you're not that good on the road circuits. You've been having a fantastic season on them so far.
Well, I mean, you can look at it one or two ways. You can look at it in terms of I got second place, which is great, or you can look at it as I lost by 25 seconds to a guy who made an extra pit stop. So, one way it was a good result, and the other way I got absolutely dudded. So, yeah, it really depends which way you want to look at it.
It's the glass half full, half empty debate, but you did finish very strongly ahead of a lot of other drivers tonight who we know are quick out there as well. Daiso's just a freak, so we just ignore that a little bit because he is just freakishly quick out there. But again, another strong result, and obviously this puts you, hopefully, you're sort of going to be hoping for a strong result coming up for the Cup race here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the chase now, so you've got to have strong results for the rest of it if you're going to have a shot. But, that's a different series and a different night and a week away, or a couple of weeks away, actually, because we've got the off week next week. So, yeah, we're just going to see how that goes. But, as for tonight, going away with the P2, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's it. Look, congratulations on that P2. Before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors, everybody in general.
Yeah, sure. So, shouts out to Daiso again. I think I pumped up his tyres enough already, so I'll just let it say well done to him. And well done to Aiden on the P3. I thought Prue must have been driving there for a while. He had some pretty good pace, but no, well done to him. And, the usual shout-outs, of course, Bridgestone Select, Race Magazine, Two Fat Blokes, and Ferguson Group Media. You guys for the broadcast and all the other guys that came out tonight. So, it's a good night.
Thank you so much, Ed. We'll catch you again soon.
Thanks. Next
up, we head to the winner of the race, Mr. Andrew Dyson. Congratulations on that win there, mate.
Hey, guys. Thanks, man.
Winner, chicken dinner. I hear you're going to be enjoying some chicken tonight.
No, that was just Neil and Chad. He was having a bit of a laugh. I already had dinner. A bit of pizza, mate.
Oh, well, that's obviously the key. Pizza is the key to victory, then. We now know your secret. Again, another strong showing. Look, you've had some good races here at Charlotte Roval. Obviously, we saw you in the trucks getting a good win, in the Xfinity getting a good win. Are you trying for the trifecta, and are you going to get another one in the Cup Series, do you reckon?
I don't know, man. It's, I've got other guys I've got to try and beat, like Neil and Worley, and who knows who else is going to show up, and who knows how much these guys have been, putting in some time to get some good pace around here. But Roval's one of my favourite tracks, and I really like it. I've done kind of well around here in supercars, but in supercars, I usually find myself on the receiving end of a shellacking. I'm lucky enough to be able to race some really fast guys in some other leagues, and I guess that helps me out a little bit when it comes to racing these cars. But yeah, that's I'll try and put that to good use as much as I can on Thursday night.
No, look, another strong showing. And look, it's been a thing that we've said a few times this season. Obviously, we know you're quick on the road courses, but you've been getting ever so much quicker on the ovals as well. And you're becoming the complete package now. It's a scary prospect for everybody.
Yeah, having a go. I mean, last week I didn't quite have enough pace. Ed smashed us around Las Vegas. Everyone thought he was going to smash his tyres off, and he didn't. So that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, having a go. We'll get there with it. I'm sure these guys will get there with the road courses too, no doubt.
No, look, congratulations again, Daiso, and the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah, thanks to all the guys for showing up tonight and having a good race. And thanks well done to Ed and Aiden. And yeah, well done to all the other guys. They all did well out there. Not so many busts up by the sounds of things, and everyone was doing a great job when all the other cars were coming through. So even though there's no blue flags in this, thanks to everyone. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast, all the guys at ANZCAR that put these leagues on, races on during the week. Thanks to all the boys in the team. And thanks to Simrigs.com, South Ellis and Hoists. Thanks Smokers and all those other lovely supporters we have on the car every week.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again. And yeah, and something you just mentioned there, congratulations to the whole field as well. We saw a couple of spins, but no major big incidents all night long. Really, really good clean driving from everybody and managing to keep those cars on track. They did not look that easy to handle out there.
Yeah, particularly at the end of the race for those guys that probably didn't pit, which I was surprised about, actually, that we didn't touch on that.
Yeah,
I was surprised no one pitted, even though you could make it on fuel. Yeah, I actually thought everyone would pit, but...
That's something I actually meant to ask you, because I forgot about that. Pitting, but were you guaranteed to pit stop with that race? Were you absolutely set on that one, or was that a sort of split decision?
At first I thought it'd be, I kind of thought it'd be slower to not pit, so I was going to try and do that as a bit of a challenge. But then Neil actually asked in the broadcast chat if he thought anyone was going to pit, and you actually said no. And so I thought, I'll try and do the opposite. And it turns out it was actually way, way, way faster, which I didn't expect. So that kind of made me surprised that no one pitted, especially when I came back at everyone so easy. I was actually saying, like, if you're in third or fourth right now and you pit, you're second pretty easily. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that one caught everybody out. I didn't think it'd be faster, like by that much anyway.
A few people tried it a little bit further down the pack and got caught out a little bit. So it was a little bit half and half, really. It was one of those sort of it sort of worked out for a couple of people, not so much for others.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll have to go check it out later. No doubt I'll be watching this back a little bit, see what happened during the race with all the other guys.
No worries. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks again for that, Andrew Dyson, DPR. Well done once more, and I'm sure we'll catch you in the booth soon.
Hope so. See you guys.
And Stuart, just touching on that, really clean race tonight. We saw very few accidents out there and very few accidents involving more than one car, sort of cars actually crashing into each other. It was pretty much just the odd spin here or there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say that. It was mainly solo driver incidents, just spins. So sort of those just really, really strong racing all the way through the evening. So a cracking result for everyone, and pretty pleased with how it all went, and of course just the dominant display from Daiso, but really good running there from Ed as well, and from Aiden. So some good battles with Thomas Martin and Hamish Gallagher throughout the field. Those battles continued as well, so a good race all round. But obviously looking forward to tomorrow night, Carl. We're heading back to Talladega, and I say back to Talladega, not back to Talladega for the Cup, but back to Talladega for the broadcast, and keen to see what that will bring us tomorrow night.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Talladega, as many people will let you know, but it is one of my favourite tracks, and I do adore the super speedways. They are some of my favourites because they do bring up some incredible action, but also some very strange results. But will we see Matty Raymond manage to pull off the double at Dega? Of course, he did take out the victory in the Xfinity Series. Will he be able to do it in the Cup Series, or will we have a new challenger? That's going to be an interesting one to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. So join us tomorrow night, 7:45. Who have we got on the interviews tomorrow night, Carl?
It will be Mr. Edward Foster.
Oh, goodness me. We get to speak to the Godfather himself, so do tune in to that one. That's on tomorrow night as well, as we have that between qualifying and the race official. So 7:45 tomorrow night, FGME cast, your E-Place for Pace. ANZCAR back with the chase as we get into the closing end of it. Well, not the closing end. We get towards the closing end of the chase tomorrow night on FGME cast. So don't miss that one. Carl, thanks as always, and we will see you all back here tomorrow night at 7:45.